And I've come to the realization, I've been talking to one, that I don't think pegging is necessarily that gay.
No. Hey nerds, I'm Jordan Thomas Gray. I'm a professional stand-up comedian living in Europe, and I've headlined in over 40 cities. After shows, a lot of people come up to me and ask about doing stand-up comedy because they want to perform stand-up, they want to give it a shot, but they are terrified of embarrassing themselves. So I figured I would make this video about 5 of the biggest mistakes that you can make, going from least bad, least embarrassing, to most embarrassing, end your career before it starts kind of stuff.
Is this thing on? Oh.
So let's get started. Number 5, hiding behind the mic stand. This is not a huge deal, but it is pretty noticeably an amateur move. Mic technique and even mic stand technique is its own topic.
Joe's here. Oh, Jesus Christ. This thing never comes off. It's right when you tape a special, then everything just falls apart.
But basically the worst thing you can do with the mic stand is take the mic out of the stand and then just leave the stand there and stand behind the mic stand while talking into the mic.
My name is Johnny Shirley, and this is my very first open mic. You know, I was like, man, you guys got it hard though.
It just makes you look very amateur. The audience will pick up on the fact that you're not used to performing. The comedians will be like, oh, this person doesn't know what they're doing. And it's just don't do it. Instead, either keep the mic in the stand if that's what you want. You can just talk into the mic, use your hands, do whatever you're comfortable with. You can hold on to the mic stand if you want. There's no wrong way to do this. You can also take the mic out of the stand and just put the mic stand off to the side, behind you, throw it, I don't care. Just do not leave it in front of you when the mic is not in the mic stand. I like to take the mic out and put the mic stand right beside me. Lean on the mic stand. That's most comfortable to me, and if you're comfortable, then the audience is comfortable. Why do I still have my fist here like this? Mistake number 4, laughing at your own jokes.
Sorry.
A lot of professional comedians, and indeed some of the world's best comedians like Dave Chappelle, they do occasionally laugh at their own jokes. You watch any Dave Chappelle special, if he lands something really hard, he'll give himself a moment to chuckle at his own joke. Might be genuine, might not be, it works for him. But if you are just starting out, try to avoid laughing at your own jokes. I'm still guilty of this. If I'm in a good mood on stage, I will often just chuckle along with the audience because that's natural to me. But then when I look back at the recordings, it just doesn't, I don't look professional. I just look like I'm goofing around. It can also make you look nervous if you're kind of like, ah. Probably the worst way to laugh at your own jokes is when no one else is laughing and then you laugh very loud into the microphone. It's almost like some open micers are trying to trick themselves into thinking the room is filled with laughter. They'll be laughing into the mic loudly, and the audience just hears this ear-splitting, amplified, horrible, nervous laughter, and don't do that. But again, I do it often. I should stop. Open mic mistake number 3. This is a big one. Pay attention to this one. A lot of people, when they do their first open mic, the rules are not explained to them, and there aren't that many rules in stand-up comedy, but a big one is don't blow the light. What is blowing the light? Good question, Jordan. Blowing the light is just doing more than the amount of time on stage you were given. And it's called blowing the light because at the 4-minute mark, if you were given 5 minutes, or some hosts do this once you've already gone over time, the host will, at the back of the room, just shine a flashlight or their phone light, shine some light to indicate that you either need to stop now or need to stop soon. At some venues, they will flash the house lights up and down, or the stage lights to signal that. If the host is at the back of the room and they're just frantically waving a light around, get off stage, dude. The host will respect you more for ending your set quickly than wrapping it up with a bow and getting one final laugh. Now, if you start doing professional shows, the problem is you have to do at least your time. So it's maybe not as bad to do a little more than your time at a professional showcase, or if you're opening, or especially if you're headlining, you need to do at least a certain amount of time. And if you go over it a bit, it's not a huge deal. If you go under, it's unprofessional. But at open mics, no one's paying you to be there. Probably no one except your friends came to see you. There are 9 to 15 other comedians that want to perform, and every second you go over your 5-minute allotted time slot is time that you're stealing from the other comedians. Hosts hate this. Other comedians that are gonna go up hate it. If you're bombing, the audience hates it. 5 minutes was enough for them. Don't do more than the time you were given at open mics. You were not Chris Rock. Do not blow the light. Respect the light.
So I was doing stand-up comedy in that building, and I told a joke and nobody laughed. So I'm kind of just trying to like locate where the problem is.
Well, can I ask what the joke was?
This one might seem obvious, but I'm constantly shocked at how not obvious it is to people when they first try stand-up. A big mistake beginners make is they don't write any jokes. Beginners will write sentences that they think are jokes, or they will get up and tell a story with no jokes in it, and then they'll be really shocked when they're not getting any laughs because they think what they wrote is funny, because it's funny to them.
So I was walking down the street the other day and I looked through a window. Did you ever look through a window and see someone you don't want to see on the other side? I'm sorry.
But funny situations are not jokes. Silly observations are typically not jokes. If you're gonna go up and do 5 minutes, write jokes. And what that is setup, punchline. Here's an example of something that's not a joke. I threw a sex party last week. It was really cool. I had ladies there. I had a threesome. I've actually seen open mic sets like that. That's nothing. That's maybe a premise. Here's an example of a joke. I threw a sex party last week, but nobody came.
So I guess you didn't like that one.
Not a great joke, but setup, punchline. Say something to set up for something funny, and then say something where you're inverting logic or saying something surprising or reframing things in a way that elicits laughter.
Right away, I'm jolting. When you were a kid, you always thought that you can outrun your parents, too. Wasn't that the fact, too? But you quickly figured out that you could not outrun your parents. I saw him running faster than a black man with a stolen VCR, right? And she
Premises are not jokes. Stories are not jokes. A huge mistake I see is someone will go up and tell a 5-minute story about how they had a cat and the cat went missing, and then they found the cat in some weird location. If it's funny to you, it doesn't mean it's gonna be funny to the audience. And if you're gonna tell a story, make sure to put actual jokes in it. A story in stand-up is basically a framework in which to slot in jokes.
And I met this hot older woman after the show, and we hit it off, but she's there with a guy friend who's just a friend, but it's Valentine's Day. There's that weird energy in the air. He's kind of going for her, I'm going for her, and he's buying me drinks to keep an eye on me, and I'm accepting the drinks because I lack character. So
most stories people are not gonna laugh at just because the subject matter is inherently amusing. The jokes have to be in there. So if you're gonna write a story, just look at every single sentence in that story and be like, where can I put actual jokes? Setup, punchline, joke.
No! God, please, no! No!
Do not, under any circumstances, make this mistake. Mistake number 5 is stealing jokes. Do not steal jokes. If you've heard a joke before on the street, in a stand-up special, a friend told it to you, unless you have some kind of permission, you cannot tell that joke on stage and pass it off as your own. A core principle of modern stand-up is originality and creativity, and comedians really hate it. Not only when their jokes are stolen, but if they see another comedian stealing jokes and passing them off as their own, they will hate that comedian. I go to a lot of open mics, I perform, I watch. If I see a new comedian tell a joke that I've heard before from someone else, I'm not gonna confront them, but I'm probably never gonna invite that comedian to a showcase, to open. I'm probably not even gonna talk to them after the show. I think why this happens so much isn't that people are trying to like get away with it. I think a lot of beginners don't know somehow that there's this rule in stand-up of not taking other people's material, you can probably take any 5-minute Mark Norman set and go up and pass it off as your own and get some laughs from the audience. But if you do that, any comedian watching and any comedy nerd is going to immediately write you off as a piece of garbage. Not quite as bad as stealing from other comedians, but still pretty annoying, is taking jokes from memes, from movies, from TV shows, taking classic old jokes and just passing them off as your own. For instance, I've seen people take jokes from Mike Myers movies from the mid-2000s and tell those jokes on stage, and they'll get a laugh, but I think it goes against the foundation of stand-up, which again is creativity and originality, turning your identity into laughter and bringing joy to people, using your own originality and ingenuity and creativity. That's what stand-up is about. Maybe there are some counter arguments that as long as you get a laugh, what does it matter? Don't worry about the counter arguments, just do not steal jokes. Don't steal them from comedians you know, don't steal them from famous comedians, don't steal them from memes, TV, movies. You will be caught and you will be shamed. As a rule of thumb, it is better to bomb than to steal. So those are 5 of the biggest mistakes that I see at stand-up open mics. I hope that was helpful. If it was, please drop a like on this video and subscribe, because I'll be making more videos about how to do stand-up, what not to do, how to do your first 5-minute open mic set, how to write longer sets, how to write a joke. So stick around, stay tuned, and thank you.